Hey, what is up guys, Smurfy here, and today I want to talk about something that I've seen that's just been brought out for Magic Online, and I think it's really going to enable people to play Magic Online a lot more efficiently. As a lot of people know, that Magic Online is very expensive, and even if you have the cards in real life, you want to test on Modo, just because it's just something you can do during the week a lot easier. And a lot of people, even if they have Modo, they don't have all of their decks on Modo because they don't have another £600 or whatever, or dollars to spend buying their decks again. So I've actually just come across this. I'll just flick over to here, and yeah, so this is called it's from manatraders. You might have seen them. They do like Magic Online tickets and things, but they've started out where you can rent decks and cards. So I'll just scroll down. Like, you can read all that if you want to go to their website. I'll leave a link in the description. I should probably explain, this is not like a sponsored video or anything. I have like 50 subs. They're not going to sponsor me, but if they want to, hey, I'm more than happy for that. But I thought, yeah, this is not me like being really biased. This is my genuine opinion of what the service offers. So they offer 3 subscriptions. You can go base, premium, or gold, and the prices are $10. I'm like, yeah, $10, $35, $60. Initially, $60 sounds like a lot, but depending on how much you play Modo and what you're using it for, that is a fairly reasonable price if you need if you're going to buy the cards anyway. So the base one allows you to borrow up to 100 tickets. So you start off with 10 tickets, and then every month they increase you by 10 tickets. So first month you're allowed up to borrow 10 tickets. Second month you can borrow up to 20 tickets. Third, 30, and it goes on and on up to 100. And then with premium, you start off with 35, and it goes up in increments of 35. So it goes 35, then 70, then 105, and it just goes up and up. And again with premium, it starts at 60 and goes all the way up to 107. Sorry, it goes up from 60, goes up in 60s, but it goes all the way up to 750 tickets, which is actually a lot of tickets. Like, a lot of decks cost below 750 tickets. And then what they've done is they've said, basically, for every ticket that you borrow, you're allowed to use that for X amount of hours. So here you're allowed a monthly allowance of 15,000 tickets at an hourly rate. So if you borrow a deck for 15 tickets, you can play it for 1,000 hours. That's how it works out. And this is largely not very easy to interpret, because like, who works, oh, I played this deck for this amount of hours. You don't work like that. So I've made a little spreadsheet. This is just to go over what it is. So I've put the base, premium, and the gold membership up here. The cost, the maximum you're allowed at once. I put the maximum that these go up to because initially they do start very low, and I think that's one of the biggest problems. Like, where is it? So you start with 35 tickets. I'm paying, there we go. I'm paying $35 for just 35 tickets at the start, which is, to be honest, is awful. But when you get up to the high end, it's very good. That's why I'm keen. I could have done it like in the middle, but I don't even think you can show what the this service is even about until you look at the higher end. So for each one, I've gone with the maximum you're allowed to borrow. So this one, you're allowed to borrow 100 tickets. Premium, you're allowed to borrow up to 300 tickets at the end after all the increments have gone up, and 750 for the gold. And then the ticket usage is how many tickets per hour kind of thing you can borrow. So first of all, I've done Mardu aggro. So I've just gone to standard metagame. This is MTG Goldfish. Standard metagame, Mardu vehicles. It's about 280 tickets. So 280 tickets. Obviously, the base one can't even cover that. I really don't like the base one personally. They say on their website it's for if you like play Pauper, you want a couple of cards here and there. Personally, just buy the Pauper decks. Like, they're not that much. You're paying $10 a month to rent them, so if you want a deck for a year, you might as well just buy it, because Pauper decks are dirt cheap. Just buy them. I don't really like the base one, but if someone wants to try it out, then I guess that's a good way to use it. So premium. So if you want to use Mardu vehicles for 280 tickets, you can borrow that for up to 89 hours a month. So all I've done is I've done the the ticket usage divided by the cost of the deck, which gives you how many hours you can use it for. So 90 hours in a month is a lot of game time, but I think that, again, that's not that easy to interpret. So what I've done here is I've just divided it by 4, and that's about, you normally have about 4 weeks in a month. So you can use it for about 22 hours a week. And so what the idea of this is, you don't just borrow the cards and keep them for like a couple of days. What you do is you borrow the cards, you play with the cards. The second you're done playing on Modo, you just return them back, and then you don't use up your minutes whilst you're not even playing. So the idea isn't that you just borrow 4 Tarmogoyfs, play them for a couple of hours, go to sleep, wake up, play them for a couple of hours, give them back, and you've used all your usage. You borrow the cards, give them back when you're done, wake up the next day, whenever you're going to go play, you borrow them again, and it just goes like that. And you basically want to minimize the time you're borrowing the cards whilst not using them. And again, for the gold membership, I've just done 60,000 divided by 280, which is 214. So you can use the Mardu Vehicles deck for 214 hours a month on the maximum gold, or 54 hours in a week. And 54 hours a week is a hell of a lot of Magic. That's like 11 hours Monday to Friday, so like a full-time job's worth of borrowing a deck. And then I've gone to modern. Modern decks are fairly expensive, so like all the decks with Goyf are like 600, 700, 800 tickets. So if you are looking to use premium, you're going to need, like, realistically, you might just need to buy the Goyfs and then try and play decks based off the rest of the budget. Personally, I already own Goyfs, so I could borrow like Death Shadow and cut off like 180 tickets off there. But that's still not even going to get the premium. I think the premium needs to be 450, because a lot of these decks do go up to like, where is it? Yeah, like 400, 300. I don't know, I think 450 is probably more realistic. Like, Bant Eldrazi just goes over. And I appreciate some people have the cards, but I think it's easier if, like, if I wanted to do this, I would rather sell my entire collection on Modo and then just pay the subscription and just treat this as like a monthly thing that I'm never going to own Modo cards. I'm just going to borrow them. So yeah, I've done Burn. So Mardu Burn on in Modern is 238 tickets. So I've done 240. So if you're under the premium on the maximum of everything, you can borrow the deck very easily. Like, it doesn't even use up all your tickets, like your maximum. And you can borrow that for 104 hours a month, which is 26 hours a week, which again is a lot. That's like 5 hours Monday to Friday. Personally, that's when I would use it, during the week. And then if you are on the gold thing, which is the expensive one, you could borrow it for 250 hours a month, which is insane. Like, you're not going to even need it for that much. But that's just to show you how much it goes. And then with last one, we've done a legacy example, which is Ad Nauseam. I've chosen Ad Nauseam because it's fairly expensive, but it doesn't exceed the premium. The problem I found was a lot of the legacy decks do just go over 350 tickets. So the problem with that is you're going to have to buy cards. So I've chosen specifically a deck that fits this. And if you wanted to play Ad Nauseam, again, you can't play in the base one, but for premium you can borrow it for 76 hours a month, which works out just under 20 hours a week. And if you're going to play gold, you could use it for 45 hours a week. So if you're going to play Modo a hell of a lot, gold seems fine. Like, if you spend a lot of money on Modo, then I don't see why you wouldn't just get gold. Like, if you're playing it for more than like 5 hours a day, or even like 3 hours a day, I think it's probably worth it. And then premium is probably what I would be looking at. So the reason I really like this like sort of service is that I like to test out different decks, and I like to make videos for you guys. And I can't afford to buy Eldrazi, Stompy, and then go buy Ad Nauseam, and then go buy Turbo Depths and Mardu Vehicles and all these different decks. But this way you can just play the deck for a couple of hours and give it back, and then play another deck. So I really think this is going to help a lot of people out. And again, yeah, it's called manatraders. Yeah, so I think this is just really going to help. If you guys have seen this or anything, let me know in the comments. I'm personally going to try this out, and I will do like a follow-up video, and I'll talk about my experience with this. And the one thing I do want to talk about is what happens if people don't return the cards or they go over. I haven't gone into too much depth about reading it, but my initial thoughts is, because obviously if you're paying like $60 and then you just try and like borrow loads and loads of cards and then you just never return them, what happens? I expect because you give them your details, then they can charge you for things that aren't returned. That is my initial expectation, because like it starts at very low. So my initial thought was That's why it starts low, so it like builds up like a trust thing. But I do think that if you just borrow loads of cards and you don't return them, they are just gonna charge you for it. I don't know. I think that's pretty much everything. I think this looks awesome. I really hope that it helps a lot more people play Magic, and it also makes Magic a lot more competitive online, because a lot of online decks, people just play budget decks, so the online metagame is often very saturated with budget decks and homebrews because they're cheaper than Abzan and Jund and Death Shadow. So those are my thoughts. I'm going to try this out and let you guys know. This should enable me to do a lot more playlists of a variety of different decks, because at the minute all I can play is Zoo, Burn, and that's pretty much it, because I can't afford to buy all these other decks at the minute. So yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and peace.